my name is Ashley Taylor, and I'm very excited to share my testimony with you today. At first, I was thinking maybe it's a little unique, but the more I consider it, the more I think my story might be a lot of our stories, especially if you grew up in church. I was one of those kids that was there every time the doors were open, and I went to Christian school. So it's of no surprise that I was about 8 years old when I asked Jesus to come live in my heart. And what that meant to me was that I was a sinner and I needed a savior, and Jesus was the savior. And I believed that, and I accepted that truth, and I asked him to come live in my life. And when I was a kid, as a result of that, I really wanted to make Jesus happy as he lived inside my heart. I wanted to make him proud of me. And so I tried really hard to follow all the rules. And that's born out of innocence, and that's born out of a good intention and a good desire. But the problem is, I let that fuel me into my teenage life, and made me believe that I needed to be perfect. And so I spent all this time trying to be perfect and believing that it was actually being perfect that made me in a right standing with God instead of just being a follower of God. So when I was 16, I was sexually assaulted, and that pretty much was the moment that made me crumble, because no longer did I feel like I was perfect. In fact, I felt like I was very unusable by God, very unlovable by God. Even though what happened was not my fault, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was dirty and that just God didn't have a lot for me anymore, and that I needed to just kind of take my feelings of shame and deal with it myself, that he couldn't be someone who could help me. Well, fast forward to being an adult and having that shame walk with me for a very long time, using food as a coping mechanism. And God really got a hold of my life about 4.5 years ago and really revealed to me in the sweetest way that my brokenness was welcome with him, and that he did not save me so that I could be perfect, that he did not have that expectation that when I came to Christ that I would be perfect, but that I would continue to be broken, and in my brokenness I would continue to need him, and that he was there and he was able to restore me and to revive me and to help me in those moments of shame and in those moments of weakness and in those moments of sin. And so it's been a sweet 4 years of really acknowledging that even though I was a child when I accepted Christ into my life, I was an adult woman when I asked Christ to be the Lord of my life, when I believed what he said about me was true, and when I believed that I was loved by him and cherished by him, and it wasn't my works but his grace that was setting me free. And I think so many of us really have the same story to tell. We were kids when we came to Christ, and we've made a lot of mistakes since then, but here's the beautiful, beautiful thing about God. His grace is forever. He loves us so much, and he wants our brokenness because he wants us, and he's going to take us and he's going to save us and he's going to make us whole, and he just wants us to start a relationship with him. So my advice and my hope for you listening, if you were a child who came to Christ and you're an adult and you feel broken and you feel like, oh man, maybe God doesn't want me anymore, maybe I can't be used by God anymore, you can and you will be used by God, but you have to take your brokenness to him, and you have to trust him, and you have to let him be the Lord of your life, and let his grace invade you.